Please, let's have our seat. Please, I want to implore us to fill the first 3 rows. Please move. Make sure there is no space in front of you. Make sure there is no space in front of you. Move to the first 3 rows. First 3 rows, please. We will not continue until those rows are filled up. So you may be the one delaying us. First 3 rows. Please, let's do that quickly. The center row here, we are still waiting though. Once again, I want to welcome us all to the 15th edition in the series of the monthly workshop for a well-formed workforce in the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. Please, let's give a round of applause for all of us that are gathered here this morning. Appreciate yourself. I'm happy to see us looking very radiant, beautiful, and handsome. It shows that because we are happy to be here. That's why we are well dressed and we are looking gay and arty. Please, another round of applause for yourselves. You are warmly welcome. Next, I want to introduce our dignitaries, the college management team that are going to be directing the affairs of today's program. And they are seated right here on the high table. First, that I will recognize this morning is our Provost, the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, Professor T.O. Ogundinran. You are welcome, sir. Please, let's appreciate him very well. Our Provost is very amiable, very understanding. He's a father in all ramifications. Another applause for him, please, is our Deputy Provost, Professor S.B. Olaleye. A round of applause for the Deputy Provost. You are welcome, sir. Next, that I will recognize this morning is the Deputy Registrar and Secretary to the College of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, Mr. A.E. Odedele. Good morning, sir. You are welcome, sir. Good morning, sir. You are welcome, sir. Also, amongst the management of the college management team is the financial controller. In absentia, Mr. S.O. Ayanshino. Also seated here with us, also a member of the college management team, is the medical librarian, Dr. Grace O. Ajiwon. A round of applause. You're welcome, man. Our deans are not yet here, so when they come in, we will recognize them. But for today's program, our resource person today is an erudite scholar. He's a professor in the University of Ibadan. I just want to mention his name now. Later, we'll do a short citation when the time comes. Professor Christopher Agulanna. You are welcome, sir. Our resource person is a professor of philosophy and is currently the head department of health ethics. For him again. You are welcome, sir. And he has not come alone. I love that. When I see men that do Bible fan, you know what I mean. When I say you will not walk alone. The person this morning has not walked alone. He has come in with his wife, Dr. Folusho Agulanna, who is a staff of the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. A better of applause. I know women will want to do better than that. You are welcome, man. We appreciate you for coming, man. So, in the absence of other dignitaries that we're waiting for, while we wait for other dignitaries to join us this morning, I want to call on the Provost for his welcome address, Professor C.O. Ogundiran. A round of applause for him.
Deputy Provost, College, Medical Librarian, our distinguished members on the other side of the table, we are welcome. And all protocols duly observed. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure this morning to welcome you to this edition of this program that has been organized by the Office of the Secretary to the College. I'm sure that we are all of us always looking forward to it because it's been a time that we learn a lot of things or are reminded of things that we knew before. I apologize that I came a little late this morning. I'm sure some of us here know why that happened. I'm not somebody who comes late to events, but we thank God that our dear professor is quite fine. This morning we have in our midst Professor Christopher Agulanna from 2 departments and 2 faculties in the University of Ibadan. Department of Philosophy, Faculty of Arts, and Department of Bioethics and Medical Humanities, Faculty of Multidisciplinary Studies, University of Ibadan. And I can't remember for how long that we have been together. We have many things that bind us together. But I won't go into the details. I won't reveal the secret. We welcome his wife, who is also here this morning, in her own capacity as a bioethicist. So she's also wearing 2 caps, not only just being the wife, but also as an ethicist. Ethics matters in everything. And ethics is about all of life. And so I'm sure that this morning we are going to be treated to a very wonderful thing. Some of us may have ideas, but beyond that, I believe that our speaker this morning is going to treat us to a very wonderful early Friday morning sumptuous meal on ethics. I've listened or sat in the lectures that Professor Agulanna has given before. He's an orator, he's an intellectual, and he's also a clergyman. When you now combine all this together, you can imagine, I'm just trying to whet your appetite as to what to expect this morning. So it is not for me to make speeches, but just to welcome you all, to thank you for coming, and to implore you to continue to come, and to welcome our speaker of this morning, Professor C.O. Agulanna. I also recognize that there will be people online. Unfortunately, I can't see you. And I don't have and I wish us a beautiful.
So next is the presentation by the IT unit of the College of Medicine. And this presentation will just take 10 minutes. ITU, please come forward. Please, let's encourage him.
morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adejuwon Joshua of the Information Technology Unit, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. All right. I'll be discussing here this morning a guide to minimize virus vulnerability. A guide to minimize virus vulnerability. So, in my content today, we have the use of reputable antivirus and anti-malware, what we need to do to guide virus vulnerability, avoidance of or limits of flash drives usage, then keeping our softwares up to date. Then we should cultivate keeping our softwares up to date. Then we should cultivate the culture of backing up regularly. Firstly, what can virus do to your computer? We have a lot of issues virus can cause. It can make your mouse to be unresponsive. That it causes your computer to hang. It makes your computer to boot extremely slow. It can make content of your backups or make you content of your backup to be empty, or in turn make you lose files on your computer. It can also damage the motherboard of the computer. So what virus does to the motherboard is that it attacks the RAM port, and once that is done, the computer will not boot again and may not be fixable. So when you start seeing this, when we look at the images up there, when we start seeing things like this on our computer, on our documents, on the desktops, all our folders having shortcuts, that means virus are setting. So what we need to do to guide against virus is we get a reputable antivirus or anti-malware. So when choosing that, we should choose a well-reviewed real-time protection software, the one that is internet security, not antivirus only. So we have likes of Windows Defender, McAfee Antivirus, ESET, Bitdefender, Swiss Antivirus, and Avira. Then, when we are using the antivirus, we should run regular scans of both our flash, our hard drive that we use for backup, and the computer entirely. We should use behavioral detection module if available on the antivirus we are choosing. And that implies us setting, when the antivirus is being set up, then it will have something to do with if we are surfing the internet. Then we should connect our laptop to the internet regularly to do virus database updates for such antivirus. Not that we should install antivirus without updating it. Then, there is another one that we should avoid or limit flash drive usage. We may not be able to avoid flash drive usage, but what we should do is, when we are getting flash drives, then we should try as much as possible to get flash drive to our computer from trusted source. And if we can't, then we should limit the use of flash. We can have other means of sending files to our computers, sharing files. We can use Bluetooth, or we use the email. And if we have virus on the computer, or we have to use flash to copy a file, then we should scan such flash before opening it on our computer. Then, keep software updated. OS are installed on our computers. Other application softwares too are on the computers. We should connect to the internet and update promptly. We keep antivirus updated, firewalls updated, our browsers and other softwares that are on the computer. They should be up to date. Then we should use automatic updates where necessary. Then we should back up regularly. And the reason why we are backing up is so that we don't eventually lose files. So we'll do the both offline backup and the online backup. Then the backup, we should we should disconnect when not in use. When we are not using the external hard drive that we use to backup, then we should not connect it to our computer. Then we should always test the restore processes. And what is the restore processes? That is, we should go and check what we back up, is it still opening? So that we can update if it is not. Thanks for listening.
Please, can we appreciate him better? Yes, we also have a number of people online that are participating in today's program. We recognize a few of them. We have Professor Arutiba online. We have the Dean, Clinical Sciences, Professor T. Lawa. We have our Deputy Registrars, Mr. Ikemeze, Dr. Yebola, and so on. I just want us to give them a round of applause in recognition of their being there. Thank you for always joining us. And we have someone here in our midst that always comes from the main campus for every edition to join us. Please stand up for recognition. Let them recognize you. He's a staff on the main campus, but he comes every time, every month. You are welcome. So we want to go to the lecture for today. Our presentation today is titled, Why Ethics Matters in Everything. But before I call on the presenter, our resource person, to come forward, I want him to be on his feet as I read an abridged version of his citation. Professor Christopher Otito Agulanna earned the BA and MA degrees in philosophy from University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, Nigeria, in 1988 and 1991, respectively. In the year 2001, he was awarded a Doctor of Philosophy in Philosophy by the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. In addition to this, in 2008, he received the double master's degrees in Applied Ethics, MAE, and MA from the Linköping University, Sweden, and Utrecht University, the Netherlands, respectively. Please, I expect that we'll clap for him. In 1992, Professor Agulanna joined the Department of Philosophy, University of Ibadan, as an assistant lecturer and rose to the position of professor in 2011. He has participated in numerous scholarly training programs in bioethics, both nationally and internationally. Since 2013, he has served as a resource person or guest lecturer in the West African College of Physicians course on medical ethics, where he has taught the course titled Moral Theories and Ethical Principles. Professor Agulanna's publications span the areas of ethics, cultural philosophy, and social philosophy. He has successfully supervised 8 PhD theses, 2 MPhil dissertations, and over 300 bachelor and master's projects. He is happily married with kids. I present to you Professor Christopher Agulanna.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. I want to thank the Provost and those on the high table and the organizers of this program for inviting me to give this lecture. I count it a privilege. As you look at my preamble, I said, I would like to thank the organizers of this program for inviting me to give this lecture at the UCH. I boldened it for a reason. The UCH holds a special memory for me for several reasons. Number one, my wife and I had our 2 children here at UCH. My wife is always asking me, he said, we had it, did you carry the pregnancy? So both of us had it because I was emotionally involved also. So not too long after our first child, my wife had a successful surgery. at UCH for a life-threatening condition. In 2016, I went surgery here to resolve a daunting health condition that had threatened my life. In 2009, my elder brother had a health challenge and remained in a coma for 2 weeks. Fortunately, the doctors at UCH managed his condition. He eventually made a full recovery. He's now 74 years old and doing very well. Thank you so much. And several years ago, my elder sister experienced a challenging pregnancy. She was bleeding. I ferried her from Lagos to UCH. The doctors cared for her for 4 months, and miraculously, she gave birth to her only child. That baby, born 22 years ago at UCH, is now a final year student at university. So you see why UCH holds a special place for me. Yeah, so I could go on recounting my experiences at UCH. Although they have sometimes been bittersweet, they have truly been worth it. So you can see why this place, this privilege to give this lecture is for me a special, special one. Now, some years ago, Professor Malomo gave me the sticker of the West African Bioethics.net. And the sticker had a message, and it read thus, or it reads thus: ethics counts in everything. So I've altered my topic to be this: ethics counts in everything. And I've reflected on this topic for many, many years. So when I was called upon to give this lecture, it automatically came to my mind that I should just reflect on this. I've been cogitating on it for many years. Now I want to now give birth to it publicly. So in what ways? So during my medical journeys at UCH, I have routinely signed a form, either for myself or on behalf of close relatives. This form is called the informed consent form. Many of those who are here, who are doctors and nurses and caregivers, you're used to the informed consent form. But are you aware that informed consent is grounded in philosophical ethics, on the idea that individuals are autonomous entities who are self-governing? Now, the word autonomy comes from two Greek words: autos, meaning self, and nomos, meaning law or rule. So autonomous means self-rule or self-governance. It means that you have your values and you are at liberty to exercise those values, that nobody should impose anything on you. Even when it comes to medical care, as a self-governing individual, you can have a say in the kind of medical care you're given by your doctors. Now, in ancient Greece, they had self-governing autonomous groups. Ancient Greece was made up of city-states. Just like Nigeria is made up of states, we have about 36 states. America is made up of how many states? About 51 states. Now, the city-states like Athens, Corinth, Sparta, and all that in ancient Greece, they were autonomous units. You had a kind of loose federation in ancient Greece. So you had a kind of loose federation in ancient Greece. And each of those groups, like Sparta, they ruled their own units. It's only when you had things like external aggression that the government itself will come and they take care of them. So the word autonomy comes from that background, that you're a self-governing person. So the whole idea of informed consent derives from that kind of idea. I said informed consent is a cornerstone of medicine, and it is an expression of liberty and morality. Informed consent stems from the belief that individuals have the right to make decisions about their own bodies and medical care. Informed consent goes beyond the mere act of signing a document. It is rooted in Kantian ethics, which oppose the idea that individuals, as rational agents, must be treated as ends in themselves, not merely as means to an end. Let me explain this. Kant was a German philosopher, and Kant believed that human beings have value, that our lives have dignity, and that in dealing with human beings, you treat them as beings having worth and self-respect. Human beings are not like things you just use and dump. Our lives are so valuable that we treat human beings as ends, not as means. You use this thing I'm holding here is an instrument and it has value. But the value that this mic has is called instrumental value. The value is extrinsic. It's not an end in itself. When this mic gets spoiled, I throw it away, discard it. But the value that human life has is said to be intrinsic in nature. Life is the greatest good that you have, and the loss of it is the greatest loss that anybody can incur. That is why people do everything to stick onto life. Even when people are sick and they are in a comatose situation and in the hospital like you know here, everybody struggles to be alive because nobody wants to go to a state of nothingness, which is what death means. So life has value, and the value it has is what? Is intrinsic and not instrumental or extrinsic. So in healthcare, informed consent empowers patients to make autonomous decisions about the kind of care they want to be given. No, there are objections to this concept. It's a matter for that. I'm not going to discuss it here. Suffice it to know that in both medical practice and research, informed consent rests on ethical principles that uphold patient autonomy and promote fairness. Now, this leads us to the value of ethics. Now, to reiterate a point I made earlier, I said informed consent is rooted in philosophical ethics. But what is ethics? That is a core. What is ethics? Now, ethics is defined as a study of morality or the study of values. Did you get that? The study of morality or the study of values. Sometimes we define it as the academic study or the critical evaluation of moral ideas or the fundamental moral principles. A society cannot thrive where you don't have morality or ethical norms or principles regulating the conduct of human beings. Whether you are administrators or doctors, whether you are nurses or teachers or lawyers, we must be guided by ethical norms, ethical principles. Without ethics, the society will kaput. The society will atrophy. The society will collapse. Now, the difference between societies that are thriving and societies that are like us in Nigeria can be morality, not just the law. The law is very important, but except you have these moral ideas, or except we are virtuous individuals whose actions are regulated by moral ideas and norms, we may not be able to do very, very well. So what is ethics? I said it's a study of what? Morality, or the study of values. Now, what is morality? Morality refers to a set of beliefs or ideas by which human conduct is regulated in society. So there is a relationship between ethics and morality. Morality is the basis of ethics. Without morality, there won't be ethics. So what we do, for example, when you were growing up, you were told that you should not steal. And when you took a piece of meat from your mother's pot of soup and she caught you, she flogged you and said, stealing is wrong. Stealing is wrong. She whacked you. If you listen to Obey's record in the 70s, say, Onti Oda, do you know this? How many of us were born that time? Obey was saying that adultery is forbidden. All those things were taught us in the society by our parents, in the church. Last Friday, you were in the mosque. The imam said that all liars will not go to Al-Jannah, they won't go to heaven. The preacher also said the same thing, that liars will go to hell. Did you listen to those sermons? You did. Now, if a thief came to your house and you were hiding money in your freezer, you want to buy a Tokumbo car, and the thief asked you, do you have money? What will you tell the thief? The pastor said, do not tell lies. The imam says, do not tell lies. Will you tell the thief, I have money, come and take it? So what are you doing? Are you lying or not? Now, so these are the issues we discuss. So that is morality. But ethics will now look at that kind of theory and subject it to critical appraisal. So ethics is the study, the academic study, intellectual study of those moral beliefs and moral values. You know, so if a thief came to my house Am I under any obligation to tell the thief the truth? I'm not saying you should tell lies. If you're going to tell the thief the lies, there must be a justification. You must appeal to ethical principles and ethical norms and ideas. You won't just say them off and I just believe. Now, number one, we live in a moral community. What did I call it? A moral community. A moral community is a community guided by moral rules. Do not steal. Do not tell lies. Do not cheat. Don't embezzle public funds. Don't take your neighbor's wife. And then the other one is that you should tell the truth. You may disagree, but that is how ethicists reason. You appeal to principles. You appeal to ethical norms. You appeal to values of society. Not because this is the way I just feel about it. You appeal. So that is what we do in ethics. So ethics is the study of morality. It is the critical evaluation of those moral beliefs that we inherited from our parents and from our peers without having reflected upon them. In ethics, we now reflect upon those principles. There are three branches of ethics. We have what we call normative ethics that tells us what we should do. We have meta-ethics. Meta-ethics tries to clarify ethical concepts like good, bad, right, justice, injustice, virtue, and vice. These are all ethical concepts. So what we do in meta-ethics is, we call it analytic moral philosophy. What do? We try to disambiguate ambiguities. Those moral concepts, we want to break them down so that you know what they mean. That's what we do in meta-ethics. Then applied ethics is the application of ethical principles to real-life issues like abortion, like euthanasia, advanced directives, palliative care. And this is where medical people come in, mostly. They come in under the branch of ethics known as applied ethics, also known as practical ethics. If a patient is sick and terminally ill and is living a vegetative life, he's in a comatose situation, and the patient is asking his doctor, I want to die. Please, can you inject me with a substance that will kill me? So that is euthanasia, end of life issues that you deal with regularly as medical people. Will you accede to the patient's request? Then there are principles that will guide your actions. You won't just say that is what my culture believes or what my religion believes. You appeal to principles as a doctor or a nurse before whether you want to accede to that kind of request or not. So let's look at the aims of ethics. Ethics aims to achieve two fundamental objectives. Number one, it tries to tell us how we ought to act in a given situation. Number two, and to provide us with strong reasons for doing so. So as an ethicist, you must have a reason for acting the way you acted. And then there must be strong reasons for those actions you want to embark upon. So how do ethicists do their work? They do what we call analysis. Because of my time, I'm going to jump some of these slides and go to, so why does ethics count? This is the main lecture. This is the real lecture. Why ethics counts. In what follows, I'll try to unpack the critical importance of ethics in every aspect of our lives, exploring how our moral compass influences our decisions and in past human relationships will pave the way toward a more just and compassionate world or society. Number one, how ethics counts. Ethics provides the framework for determining good or bad. What is good? If anybody in this audience or online can define the word good, through the Provost, well, I promise that person something, I won't mention it. Who can define good? Who can try? Anybody? Philosophers say that the word good is indefinable. Good is like the color red. When you see a red object, you know that this is red. But if you are asked to define red, nobody has been able to define red in the whole of humanity. But so how do you know that something is red? According to G.E. Moore, a British philosopher, he said you know it intuitively. Intuitive knowledge is a sudden awareness that this is a case. But if you're asked to explain how you got the knowledge, you won't know how to be able to, you won't be able to explain it. So we are told that the word good is indefinable. But when I say a good action or a good person, I know that this is a good person. But how did I know? I just know intuitively. Can you explain intuition? You can't explain intuition, but you just know. The color red is, I see it and I know it. But if you actually define red, no scientists have been able to define the word red. Are you surprised the way philosophers reason? Yes, so it provides, so ethics provides the foundation for determining what is right, what is fair, and just in human interactions or decision making. Indeed, ethical principles are essential for the effective functioning of society. I'm going to show you those principles now. What this means is that ethics is not just a concept, but the foundation upon which we can build a progressive, civilized world or future or society. Now, look at ethical principles. We have honesty. What I've done is to break them down. Principles are these: honesty. Everybody knows honesty. Who doesn't know honesty? Everybody. Imagine if you have a worker who is not honest, there'll be lack of trust. And trust is something that is transactional. What it means is, I trust you and you trust me. On the basis of trust and honesty, we can move the college forward. You are the head of administration. If your staff is not honest, if they are not honest, then there will be no progress in that place. So ethics presents these principles as a guide to action. So ethics is not just merely theoretical. It's something practical that you can relate with. That you have objectivity. You are a researcher. Don't allow personal biases or predilections or cultural considerations or religious considerations to affect the findings. Allow the study to be objective. Report it objectively. Honesty, sorry. So we have integrity. Integrity, openness, respect for intellectual property, confidentiality, doctor-patient relationship confidentiality. Then you have, what else do you have there? Responsible publication. For those who are researchers, we have what we call some misconduct in publication. Like when you take somebody's name who was not part of the research and you put the person's name in the paper, it's called what? Either gift authorship or honorary authorship. What kind of authorship do you know? All those things are called ethical misconduct, and they're not right. So that is, but you must publish responsibly. Then we have responsible mentoring. What is mentorship? Mentorship is a situation where somebody who is experienced is now guiding a mentee or a protege. Now, you have employed somebody as an assistant lecturer in your place. Don't just send him to the class to go and damage the students. There must be a mechanism, a policy where we mentor younger ones. And I fancy mentoring so much in the medical field. It is the best anywhere in the world. You enter the world, the consultant comes in with younger doctors. Everybody is following the consultant. Everybody listens. The kind of respect. Medicine is hierarchical. Once you're up there, everybody follows you. If you have anything, you can whisper to your consultant, but he has the final say. You teach him how to navigate in the environment. You teach him the politics of the place. Teach him how to go about his work. And then you can also provide for him opportunities to become great in life. That is what mentoring is. So we have toxic mentoring, where the mentor makes you a servant. I've gone to places to present this lecture. They will say, when I was doing my PhD, I was washing cars and cooking for my supervisor. I'll go to the farm and be farming for her for 2 years, and he never read my proposal. That is toxic mentoring. We are saying positive, transforming mentoring. So ethics talks about mentoring. The only reason why a being is morally considerable if that being had rationality. But people like Peter Singer and the rest of them, they say no. It is not rationality, but the ability to feel pain and pleasure is what makes you to respect any being. So any being that can feel pain or pleasure is morally considerable. So animals also are morally considerable. Have you seen how they transport our cattle from Bodija to the cattle market? They will tie them, they will beat them, those cars will be injured. That is being inhumane to those animals. In other societies, you can go to jail for treating animals with that kind of ignominy. So animal care is also an ethical principle that we need to respect in our climate, in our society. Now, ethical principles like honesty, veracity, objectivity, integrity, respect for colleagues and intellectual property are essential to the responsible conduct of research. Conducting responsible research requires us to commit to engaging in conversations about the ethical dimensions of our work, to develop our skills at making ethically sound decisions, and to ultimately act with integrity. Now, I want to use this illustration to explain what I have in mind. Even if you don't remember anything about my lecture, you won't forget this. It is the metaphor of the ring of Gyges. It was given by Plato in his book, The Republic, the ring of Gyges. What is it all about? Now, the ring of Gyges, ROG, is a philosophical thought experiment presented by Plato in his book, The Republic. Look at the story. Gyges was a shepherd. He found a magical ring that makes him invisible when he turns it on his finger. Using this power, he seduces the queen, kills the king, and takes over the kingdom, all without consequences. Now, the key takeaway in this metaphor or story is, if you were like Gyges, you could commit fraud and steal from the Provost's vault, and nobody will catch you, and you remain invisible. Will you be a moral person, or you go ahead doing it like Gyges? How many of us will be different from Gyges? Nobody, you are invisible, you can do anything, you can steal, and nobody will catch you. You can just find yourself in the bank and open the vault, nobody will catch you. How many of us will be moral? Now, so the key takeaway, would you still do the right thing if no one could see you and you would never get caught? That's the story. And that's the lesson, that's the moral that this myth is teaching us. Now, the ring of Gyges story has a powerful connection to the responsible conduct of research for those who are researchers. At its core, the ring of Gyges raises a timeless ethical question. Would you still do the right thing if no one could see you or hold you accountable? Now, there are key connections to RCR. Number one, temptations to act unethically when observed. Everybody faces that temptation to fabricate or falsify data, to manipulate findings, misappropriate authorship, plagiarize. But Plato is saying that if you're a moral man, a person who is virtuous, you will not do what Gyges did. What you will not do in the public, you won't do in the secret. Am I communicating? That's what the story, the ring of Gyges, is teaching us. Number two, integrity as an internal commitment. You're not a woman of integrity because you fear sanctions or punishment. You do it from inside of you. You are a virtuous person. This is the right thing to do. Whether people are commending me or not, I won't. You don't say Nigerians steal, therefore I want to be a thief also. Ethics is not about how people are, but how people ought to behave. Ethics is concerned with the should. We call it a prescriptive discipline. It prescribes the ought, how you ought to behave, not how people are. To just say how people are is called descriptive ethics. But prescriptive ethics, which is normative, is saying that you ought to be a moral person. You ought to tell the truth. You ought not to steal. You ought to be honest. It's concerned about the ought, the should, the ideal, and not what is the case. So let's quickly move to other things. Number two, why ethics counts. Ethics is essential for building trust and sustaining community well-being. Without trust, society cannot be happy. Ethical norms are vital in sustaining trust, integrity, and community well-being. They help us to avoid the Hobbesian state of nature, where the lives of people were brutish, nasty, and short. Let me explain. Thomas Hobbes was a British philosopher of the 16th century. He claimed that human beings lived in a primitive setting known as a state of nature. In the state of nature, we had no laws, we had no morality, we had no government. Everybody did whatever he wanted. If you found a woman and you loved the woman and said, I want to marry you, and you married her, a stronger than you will come and kill you and take over the woman. So it was a state of anarchy, a state of war of all against all. And in the state of nature, the lives of people was brutish, nasty, and short. You couldn't predict the future. Anybody could just come and kill you. So he said human beings now had reason. Reason now compelled them to come together. They transferred all their natural rights to a leader called a Leviathan, who was to rule over them. According to him, this is the beginning of society. We call it the social contract. We entered into a social contract to have a government to rule over us. With the government came law, came morality, came the idea of right or wrong. So we came out of that brutish environment to a state of order and harmony. And so we need moral norms and moral ideas to be able to regulate that kind of society. So we are no more in the state of nature, where the lives of people was nasty, brutish, and short. Now, all of us, we have entered into a contract to have society, and we elect leaders to rule over us. Because of my time, let me quickly jump to another thing. So ethics promotes justice and fairness. Ethics is a mechanism for building trust and credibility. Sorry, sir, how many minutes do I have? 9 minutes. Okay, let me quickly rush it. So ethics protects human dignity and rights. Ethics. All those, look at ethical principles protect fundamental human rights and dignity. This is especially relevant in bioethics, where ethical considerations guide issues like end-of-life decisions, euthanasia, palliative care, reproductive rights and genetic engineering, equitable access to health care. If in your clinic as a consultant, you have 5 patients, and they need this life-sustaining thing to keep them alive, you have only 2 for 5, how are you going to choose between the 5? It presents what we call ethical dilemma. I'm sure there are ways to resolve it here, but it's worth reflecting upon. So ethics encourages social responsibility. That businesses, for example, should be able to give back to society. Ethics encourages responsible behavior among individuals, corporate organizations. It underpins corporate social responsibility and sustainability in business, while promoting transparency and accountability in public governance. Ethics promotes responsible behavior, offers safeguards for professional integrity. You have medical ethics that guides you. You have legal ethics that guide lawyers. Research ethics that prevents misconduct, plagiarism, and data fabrication. Ethics is a safeguard against misconduct. Ethics helps to resolve conflict, whether in business or medicine, or in every area of life. Look at during COVID, and even though we say we had right, we had to be wedged into our homes because we want to promote the public good. Ethics comes in and discusses such matters. Ethics shapes cultural and social norms. Now let's apply the ethical principles I highlighted earlier let's apply them. We have what we call ethical dilemmas. What do I call it? Ethical dilemmas, also known as moral dilemmas or moral paradox. In the English language, we say somebody can be caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. What does it mean? You're caught between 2 equally dangerous situations. In logic, we say you're caught between Scylla and Charybdis. If you read Homer's Iliad, when that man was going into the land of the dead, and then he drank a water that made him to forget everything. You drink another water, you can now remember. When you're caught between 2 equally dangerous situations, we say you are caught between Scylla and Charybdis, or you're locked in the horns of a dilemma. You're at Bodija Market, a driver, the brake of the trailer failed, and the trailer was coming towards you. And then a cow in the slaughter that was to be slaughtered knew that I'm going to die, life is going. He was able to struggle and run away. And as you were running away from the trailer, the cow came towards you. Which one would you choose, the cow or the trailer? Who would choose the cow? So we call that a dilemma. In morality, we call it what? moral dilemmas. When you're caught between we say you're caught in the horns of a dilemma, or you're locked in the horns of a dilemma. You're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, or you're caught between Scylla and Charybdis. Scylla. And if you go and read Homer's Odyssey or Homer's Iliad. Now, what are ethical principles are useful in resolving moral dilemmas? How? What are dilemmas? The same as ethical dilemma or what moral dilemma? Now, they refer to situations where a choice has to be made between two equally undesirable alternatives. Now, look at example 1. The hen's dilemma. Doctors, this is for you. Now, the hen's dilemma is an ethical thought experiment created by the psychologist Lawrence Kohlberg. A woman was near death from a unique kind of cancer. There is a drug that might save her. The drug costs $4,000 per dosage. The woman's husband, hence, could only get $2,000. He asked the doctor scientist who discovered the drug for a discount or let him pay later, but the doctor refused. The question is, should hens break into the laboratory to steal the drug to save the wife, or should they not? If yes, why? If no, why not? Now, in resolving these dilemmas, don't appeal to culture. Appeal to those principles: autonomy, non-maleficence, beneficence, justice, integrity, accountability, and all that. We appeal to principles in dealing with dilemmas. There are other dilemmas before we conclude, and then we can resolve them. Now, example 2, the trolley problem. A runaway tram or trolley is on course to collide with and kill a number of people, 5 of them, who are on the track where the trolley was going. But a driver or bystander can intervene and divert the vehicle to kill just one person, innocent person on a different track. Will it be right to sacrifice one innocent person to save a larger number? Will you kill an innocent person because you want to save 5? How do you value life? Is it in quantity, on quantum, or how? Just be reflecting on these dilemmas, so we're coming to answer them. Now, this is a medical dilemma also. This is a medical dilemma. Mrs. Y. Mrs. Y is 56 years old and has a learning disability. She's admitted to hospital with an ovarian cyst. The cyst is blocking her ureter, and if left untreated, will result in renal failure. Mrs. Y would need an operation to remove the cyst. Mrs. Y has indicated quite clearly that she does not want a needle inserted for the anesthetic for the operation to remove the cyst. She is uncomfortable in a hospital setting and is frightened of needles. The clinician is concerned that if the cyst is not removed, Mrs. Y will develop renal failure and require dialysis, which will involve the regular use of needles and be very difficult to carry out, given her fear of needles and discomfort with hospitals. The anesthetist is concerned that if Mrs. Y does not comply with the procedure, then she would need to be physically restrained. Mrs. Y's niece, who is a caregiver, who visits her every time, is tired of going to hospitals. Mrs. Y's niece visits her in the care home every other month. The niece is adamant that her aunt should receive the treatment. Questions for consideration. Number 1, should the surgeon perform the operation despite Mrs. Y's objections? What ethical principles can you use to justify your yes or no? Is it autonomy? Is it non-maleficence? Is it beneficence? Is it justice? Sometimes you have a collision of principles. You want to do good to a person, and then the person's autonomy. Then you also have the issue of justice, which is fairness. What is just in this action? These are dilemmas we need to consider. Now, I'm going to jump this. Is there in the slide? Is there in the slide? Now, so how do we make, I'm concluding, I have just about 2 slides. How do we resolve ethical dilemmas? we have steps to making ethical decisions and to resolve dilemmas. Number one, we say, think through the ethical dilemma that you are facing. Try to identify its components as objectively as possible. Don't rush, think through. Number two, think of all the options available to you. Number three, determine which option you believe to be the most ethical. You may want to consult others before making your decision. Number four, determine how this option can be implemented. Then consider potential pitfalls that might have to be overcome. Then number five, think of the consequences of your decision. What is the worst thing that could occur? What is the best thing that could occur? Can you accept both of these potential outcomes? Then we have what we call ethical checks. Have ethical check. Reflect on these checks. Number one, you ask yourself the question, is it legal? What I want to do, is it legal? Will I be violating civil law or institutional policy if I go ahead and do this? Let me tell you a story before I round up. I invited a professor from one university to examine my PhD student. So he was in the hospital with his friend, very close pal, a man who was having he was hiccuping, uncontrollably hiccuping. So the doctor came in and then attended to him and told the matron, please take care of him, I'll be back soon. So as the doctor left, the patient began to hiccup the more. The nurse felt pity for him, pity, and not following the ethical rules. Felt pity, took a tin of milk, opened it, and poured some, and gave to the patient. My colleague said, immediately the man took the tin, he hiccuped controllably and died. So they quickly ran and called the consultant. Hey, he has died, oh, he has died, oh. The man said, what happened? Madam, what did you do? I just left him now, what happened? He said, doctor, when he was hiccuping, I felt pity for him. I gave him milk and drank, and he died. Doctor said, you killed him, Olupa? You killed him? You killed him? You killed him? Why did you give him milk? Who told you to give him milk? The woman knelt and said, I'm Oponimio, I'm a widow. Please keep me secretly, don't kill me. You know how we appeal to emotion. The doctor said, but remember that you are the one who killed him. I won't tell you the whole of the story. That, my friend, immediately, the wife and the children of the man who died came in. He said he never told them what happened. So who is right? How do you deal with such situations? So you think through. Do I consider this to be an extraordinary situation that demands a special response? How do I feel about this? If a colleague took this action, how will I feel? Then these are the things. Just go through all these. When you go through all these are the steps you take in trying to resolve a conflict and in making ethical decisions. Final words. Ethics is a veritable tool for enhancing human well-being and enhancing societal harmony, especially in interaction with science. And since science is fundamentally a social enterprise aimed at improving human welfare, ethical principles serve as a vital framework for guiding and moderating scientific inquiry. The history of abuses in medical sciences mainly resulted from a failure to adhere to established ethical norms and principles. In my research in ethics, I have consistently highlighted the importance of aligning a scientific practice with moral values that prioritize human dignity and human life, requiring that scientists operate within the boundaries of ethical norms and principles. Ethics is the foundation of a just and civilized society. It defines the boundaries of what is right and wrong, just and unjust in society. Without ethics, society will unravel, injustice will flourish, corruption and moral decay will take root. These vices will lead to the eventual collapse of society. In critical areas like bioethics, ethics ensures advances in medicine and science do not come at the expense of human flourishing or well-being. Public moral reasoning in these areas requires that breakthroughs in medicine should serve life and not exploit it. Thank you for listening.
We can do better. Yes, let's give a standing ovation, sorry. Standing ovation. Thank you very much. You may have your seat. You will agree with me that that was an eye-opener. Yes, we have learned a lot this morning. And before we go on to our questions and comments, I just want to recognize the following people. In fact, in our midst this morning, we have Professor Farombi, the Davis A. Christland University. He's right seated there with us. You are welcome, sir. You are highly recognized, sir. Also online, we have Dr. Adefemi Afolabi, Professor John Oluwole Akintayo, Dean Faculty of Law, University of Ibadan. Please, let's give him a round of applause. A big round of applause. Professor Bayo Adejimo, please keep clapping. Professor T.A. Lawal, our Dean of Clinical Sciences. Also online, we have people that are not even members of the University of Ibadan, staff of University of Ibadan. Somebody in bioethics from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Professor Eboluwa Oduwole, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Robinson Ugu, MSc Bioethics, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. We also have our own staff here that are online, our regular participants, Mr. C.A. Samakinde, our Deputy Registrar, Mr. T.G. Bankole, another Deputy Registrar, Mr. S.L. Ligono, and our Dean of Nursing, Professor Priska Adejimo. Please, let's give all of them a round of applause. We appreciate you for being there all the time. Thank you for joining us again. Also this morning, I want to recognize, and with apologies too, members of staff of the University College Hospital that are here with us. Please, if you are from usage, just wave your hand. We want to recognize you. Yes. Please, let's appreciate them for coming. You are recognized. We value your participation with us here this morning. So I want to go to questions and answers. I want to encourage people online to also drop their questions online in the chat section so that we can take them. But in the hall now, I'm going to take just 3 questions. One from the first row, the middle row, another one, and the third one from the last row. 3 questions, please, because of our time. Yes, please come out quickly.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mr. Ademilola Famuriele from the Medical Library. Thank you, our resource person, for that wonderful presentation. I've been looking forward towards this kind of presentation. It's quite germane to our operation in the university system. I want to ask a question. In a situation where one is faced with a place, in a workplace where you are expected to tell lies in order to cooperate and maintain a kind of unity with people, what do we do? Let me give you an instance.
We don't have time.
So in a place where you are, in a situation where you have to write, kind of probably time that you, maybe attendance, and you are expected because the person behind you, you actually came late. So the person wants you to write, to backdate maybe 15, 20 minutes earlier, so that he or she too will write the right time, so that probably the time you are late already.
Please round up your question, please.
You write the right thing. So what do you do? And you keep incurring anger, hatred from people for doing the right thing. In that particular situation, what do you do?
Thank you. Next question, please. Quickly. 1 minute for one question. Yes, please. Okay. Let's look at our online participants then. You can answer this while we check the online participants.
So thank you so much. You're asking if maybe you're working in a place and your people expect you to tell lies. It's like when you go to the Teaching Service Commission, amongst teachers, this one is very popular. You have to sign the register and you put your time. And you are the person who is ethical in your conduct. You came 8:30 and you signed 8:30. Every other person after you is signing 8:30, 30 of them, 8:30. And then you go to the staff room. Everybody is angry with you. Nobody wants to talk to you because you're doing the right thing. So should I change and sign 6:30 when I actually came at 8:30, which is what they expect you to do? So that's a question. That's a summary. I'm just, that's a summary of it. So the same thing in the office, and all that. It is always right. If you look at those ethical checks, I put them there. Those how to deal with dilemma. Those the last two slides. The answers are, they have more than one answer. It's always right to maintain integrity. If you want to be alone, just be alone. Because some of the things we do now will haunt us in the future. We wanted to recruit in our department some years ago. Very brilliant, intelligent fellow. They say, 20 years ago, he was the one writing projects for students and collecting money from them. People always go back and remember the past. If you just do it now for the sake of doing it now, somebody is watching you. When the time comes for you to be elevated, they will say, he's not a man of integrity. So it's better to suffer and do the right thing than to join the crowd and then people to lose confidence in you. They won't respect you. They will not respect you. There are people we cannot employ who are unemployable, even though very intelligent and erudite. They have brains, they have everything. But because they are not men and women of integrity, nobody would respect them. Integrity is an ethical principle that we have to abide by.
Thank you, sir. Please, before we go on, I want to recognize students from the University of the Gambia. They are here with us. They are in the front row here. Please, can you rise up so we can recognize you? Thank you for coming. We appreciate you for being in our midst. Also, we have somebody online that wants to ask a question, that wants to speak from online. Dr. Adefemi Afolabi, BCC, please, we need you.
Good morning, sir, and the Provost and the members of the high table. Lecturer, we thank you for the lecture. I want to recommend that this type of lecture should start from the home by parents, because parents are the perpetual mentors of their children, whatever age they reach. If we start from the home, and then take it to different levels, such that if I have taught my children that you should not take your brother's toy, start asking him, when he gets to school, and somebody wants to take his pencil without asking, he will say that no, in our house, you must take permission before you take that. That's the minimum level we can go. And then take it to all leadership levels, government levels, up to the National Assembly presidency. Maybe one of these days, Professor Agulanna will give this lecture to the National Assembly members, the politicians, working with government, who will over us. Thank you very much. Suggestion, not a question, actually.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate him. Please, we have just 2 questions online. You can take them quickly. The first one is from Claudius Samakide. Is navigating ethical dilemmas? How can professionals balance personal values with organizational policy, especially when two seem to conflict? And the second one is it ethical and is there justice in not telling the truth when it involves death? That's all.
Thank you so much. A comment from Dr.
Afolabi
about that this should start from the home, which parents should be ethical mentors. Children learn by imitations, but it's not sufficient, even though it is okay. In the sense that in other societies, they have ethical institutes where they teach children values from when they are young. I was in Europe, so you want to go by train, have this train ticket. Just go and punch it and board your train. Sometimes they won't check, sometimes they'll just check. every European will always punch the ticket. Then I saw Africans, particularly Nigerians. They will get the ticket, they will hide it so that for another journey, they won't punch it. Then once in a while, person checking in the coach will come. You see them moving from one coach to the other, running away. Why do you have to do that? The European who is not religious says, this is unethical, I will not do it. So, societies would need also to teach those values, make them as part of our educational curriculum. Some parents can do it if they are capacitated. There are parents who themselves are also not mentally, intellectually capacitated. They can't teach what they don't know. So, but if you have values in society everybody respects, so we need to teach them. I believe, I agree with you, sir, that these things should start from the home. But beyond the home, to also teach those values, put them part of our educational training. Those days we used to have civic and moral, whatever it is in primary school. I don't know whether those things are still there any longer. Are they still there? Are they still teaching our children those things? Those values. So we should make them part of our educational system. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. BCC, the questions. The chat section on the platform, we can't say it again. We still have two questions there that the presenter has to address. Please, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you very much, sir. Lecturer, presenter. I have just what you just said concerning the experience in Europe. I want to know what exactly is because we learned in the university about nature and nurture, the debate about nature and nurture. In Nigeria today, in the African setting, why is it nature that is responsible for our unethical, or the nurture? Is it ingrained in our DNA, or what exactly, and how, despite all the formation of the National Orientation Agency?
I understand you, sir. I understand you. Actually, the doctors should answer the question. Is there anything in our biology, in our DNA, that makes us to be bad? No. No. The same Nigerians that will do wrong here, when they get to Europe or America, they will not do wrong. Let me give you this example. I was in a hotel room in Philadelphia, maybe the 10th floor. I couldn't sleep because, I just moved from Nigeria. So my day was like night. Then my body didn't adjust. By 2 a.m., I was still awake. I said, what is this? I wanted sleep. Sleep would not come. So I was just pacing around in my room. I looked out my window. I saw a traffic light. There was a lone driver, and the thing showed red. The man got there. I said, yes, I want to say Americans too, they are lawbreakers. The man got there and parked. Until the light changed to green. He moved. I said, yay. In Nigeria. So, listen. Now, listen. It doesn't mean that American driver is a better human being than Nigerian drivers. He knows that once he gets home, his card, paper, is waiting for him. He's going to pay. So there will be sanction. And he has been brought up to know that do what is right. But when it comes to this Nigerian setting, no, listen. We have to also be honest to ourselves. I am a road marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps. We say safety first. That man who stopped by the red light knew that no thief would come and attack him there. The Nigerian also knows that if he stops in Nigeria, they may come and kill him and take away his car. So so we need to reorder our society so that Nigerians can also be right.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Please, because of our time, we want to do a small adjustment to the program. We want to say the closing remarks from our Provost, because he has to leave for an official engagement right now. Our Provost, Professor Theo Ogundiran. You're welcome, sir.
Well, thank you very much. It's always a wonderful time listening to Professor Agulanna. Like I said at the beginning, I've listened to him over and over again. And I think my description of him, I'm not disappointed. Did I disappoint you? No. Now, I'd like to recognize Professor Farumbi, who is here. We really appreciate your coming. We thank you very much. And we also acknowledge all those who are online. Sorry, we can't mention all of you. Some of you have been mentioned, but particularly I would like to mention Dr. Afolabi, who is the chairman or president of ASU of the University of Ibadan. And I also recognize Professor Duwole. Professor Duwole from Olabisi Onabanjo University. But one more interesting thing about her is that she has just been appointed as the Vice Chancellor of Alayande University in Oyo. Is it Ajayi Crowder? Ajayi Crowder, pardon me for that unethical mistake. She's just been appointed the Vice Chancellor of Ajayi Crowder University, Oyo. So we congratulate with you and we say that God grants you a successful tenure. Sorry, I apologize. I have to leave because I have to attend another program in UI. But let me tell you that ethics is beautiful, as you can see. I'm a surgeon. There was a time that I thought that I was bored with surgery. So I wanted to do something else. And I was thinking of going to read law. Then this opportunity came for me in 2003. Go for a master's degree in bioethics from the University of Toronto. So I went and I have a master's degree in bioethics. And since then, I thank God that I chose to go for bioethics because law is also part of it. So I was able to attend classes in law. I'm not a lawyer, all right, but at least I'm not so ignorant like others. So in essence, I was able to incorporate both bioethics and law. But where I'm going is this. Ethical discussions are always very beautiful. And I've gone places with him teaching ethics. The reactions are always wonderful. So the question I want to ask you two, number one, how many of you want to become philosophers from what you have heard the philosopher discuss? I also took classes in philosophy, and it just then occurred to me that if I had my way, I will make all Nigerians to go through philosophy so that you understand the principles, the basis for doing what you are doing. Hopefully that will impact our society in a positive way. Now, I think the last thing I need to say is about values. The question that Dr. Afolabi asked about starting from home and the response of our lecturer. I have some videos for teaching small children, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, from abroad. All right, just to corroborate what he said about we need to start from what Dr. Afolabi said and what our lecturer said. These videos teach children, maybe 15 minutes video play that teach moral values to children. There's one on empathy. What is the meaning of empathy? How do you demonstrate empathy? So that is just Children, 1 year, 2 years, all right? Topics that are very important. Appreciation. How do you appreciate people? Even we adults, many times, we don't even appreciate when somebody does something for you. Such topics, understanding, all right? Values, norms, those are the topics there. I'm ready to share with anybody who's interested in having those videos. You can show them your children. It teaches them right from small age, and hopefully they can grow. So ethics goes beyond just religious issues. It goes beyond the church and the mosque and the shrine or anywhere. It's all about the society. And the final comment I have is that we are the ones that will change our country. And it starts with you in your office, on your desk, what you do, in the house, all right? If I ask us to raise up our hands, now I'm sure some of us this morning, we broke the traffic lights, Lord, when we were coming to work this morning. All right, let's start from here. Minor things. Let's start from there. Don't start blaming the politicians and everybody. They all have their issues. And let me tell you, all our politicians, whoever is in authority, including me as a provost, we're all accountable to God. So leave them alone. Just do your own, as our lecturer has said. So in our offices, where we are attending to our duties, nobody is there, all right, to ask you questions. When you are dealing with those students that come, you are dealing with those people that come, they file in front of you. What you are supposed to do, apply these ethics to what you do on daily basis in your office, at home, when nobody is going to know whether you have done wrong or right. Always choose to do right, always. Have a good day. Thank you.
We can do better than that. Thank you, sir, our dear Provost. I want to, before we take the next item on the agenda, I want to recognize the presence of our financial controller who walked in while the lecture was going on, Mr. Eso Ayoshino. Also, while the Provost was speaking, our Dean, the Dean of Basic Clinical Sciences, also walked in, Professor A.F. Fayintola. Please, let's appreciate him. You are welcome, sir. Also, our dear, all the way from the University of Ibadan, main campus, Mr. UK Ekebeze, is here with us in person. You are welcome, sir. So we'll now take the presentation by Leadway Assurance. Please come forward in 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. Your time starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Sunday Favor Adim, and I am a sales manager with Leadway Assurance Company Limited. We are here this morning.
Please, this program has not ended, though. We have not ended. Please, nobody should go.
So I am not here alone this morning.
I'm speaking the mouth of the Deputy Registrar and Secretary to the college.
I am here with our Senior Sales Executive Manager, Mr. Salami, and also our Sales Manager, also Mrs. Alabi. We are here this morning to just briefly sensitize us on what Leadway is all about. But permit me to ask us this question. In the case of eventualities, you know, most especially, let's take death or critical illness. What happens to your loved ones? What happens to them? We have seen cases where, you know, someone would die, and when the uncles and aunties and everybody comes around, they will tell the children something like, oh, where your father cannot get you to, I will be there for you. And then at the end of the day, you discover that the children will suffer and suffer and suffer to find their ways. So the question again, in the case of eventualities, what happens to your loved ones? So with Leadway, we have been able to help people realize their dreams for their loved ones with our savings plans. With our savings plan, you can easily plan for your children's, you know, academic well-being, even while you are still here, before you travel beyond. I wanted to say praise God. So, all right. So now, you can plan with that, with our savings plan. And it comes with a reasonable percentage interest. And then you can also make use of our endowment plan. We call it educational target plan. You can make use of this one too, to plan for your children's education, such that in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years to come, your child can be rest assured that he or she would not be sent out of school, most especially tertiary education. Now, most of us, we are planning that, once my child finishes his college, I'm sending him to abroad. And you know that it's not a child's play. It comes with a huge responsibility. You can make use of Leadway educational target plan to sort this one out. Also, do you know that every day we get 1, 2, 3 naira from people, we get money, and then you just spend it, you blow it up. Why don't you also invest with our Leadway investment plan? This one also comes with a reasonable percentage interest on it. And the last part that I want to briefly touch before I quickly bring up my senior sales executive to wrap up everything that I've just said is about our pension. I understand very well that most of us, we are already getting closer to our retirement. With Leadway annuity plan, you can be rest assured that you will not run out of cash at your retirement time. How do we do that? Once you walk up to us and we give you all needed explanation, 100%, you would discover that with Leadway annuity, on a monthly basis, until death, not as long as your money can carry you, until death, you will keep receiving your monthly pension, and it is also very high, unlike when you subscribe to another form of retirement plan. Thank you very much. As I bring up Mr. Salami, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I know it's a very short meeting, but presently, I know the little we can do, we will do it. I want to broad stress more about the pension that he was talking about, because over the years, I've been able to meet a lot of professors that have retired from this. Part of them, I know Professor Ilesami, which you people, I know you are familiar with him, Professor Bakari, and also my father that I know, that I respected to very much, that took me as his friend also, Professor Akintude Showumi. All these people, I know they are enjoying their retirement now from Leadway. Because I know a lot of people come to you and do a kind of too much lies when it comes to annuity and program withdrawal. Please and please, don't let anybody take you for granted. The pension law reform that was reformed in 2014 is well available for you to read and understand. The English there is not ambiguous at all. But maybe because of our laziness, marketers come to us without the way professors were talking about ethics. They don't have ethics. They are only after what the commission, their establishment will pay them. Please look into it, read very well. Anytime I'm in the office, a lot of people call me, and I give them my own professional idea. Even before I joined Leadway, I was doing my analysis on pension, on savings. I'll give you my free attention. Please look into it very well. If you have more questions, you can get in touch with me. I'm always available. But I promise you, we are coming back. We will do a very good seminar that will bring in all our department down here. I promise you that one. Thank you, everybody.
Please, let's appreciate them. Lead your assurance. You are welcome. So I want to recognize our dignitary online, Professor Sarah Akintola, former Dean of Law, and presently a member of Council, University of Ibadan. Please, let's appreciate her. She's online from beginning till now. Also, I have this announcement for our online participants. Please send in your email addresses so that we can also consider you for the certificates of attendance. Please just write in the chat section your email address for online participants. Thank you. I would like to call on our Deputy Registrar and Secretary of the College now to give the vote of thanks. Please, let's appreciate him as he comes forward.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Provost, the Deputy Provost, and all members of management of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, and all staff, we want to appreciate our resource person. It's been a very nice time. It's been so enlightening and so informative. And I believe many of us will still visit the college website, you know, for a repeat of this presentation. You know, the book says somewhere, it says, you know, continuous is, you will know, you know, by continuous learning. You know, so let's continue to read, to look at this presentation. You know, let's imbibe it, let's ingest it, let's digest it, let's assimilate it. You know, so, and I want to appreciate the representative of the Director of Administration from the University College Hospital. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you. Our people from Leadway Assurance, thank you for coming. We believe you have also benefited from this presentation. So inform your people also so that subsequent ones, you can also participate. I want to appreciate our participants online, our employer online, and other participants, both from within the university and from outside. We appreciate you for joining us. This program holds every second Friday of the month. So please stay tuned and connect with us. To everybody here present, my DR from the main campus, Mr. Ikemize, and others from the main campus, Mr. Lekuru, we appreciate you, we recognize you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, students, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of the day. And please, let's ensure that we practicalize, we operationalize all that we have learned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, our dear. Please, we can do better than that. Let's recognize, let's appreciate our dear. He is the #1 administrative officer in this College of Medicine. He's my boss. Please appreciate him for me. He's my boss. Thank you very much for that. Please, so we rise up now for the anthem, and we are taking just one anthem because of our time, the national anthem. PCC. Thank you. Please, let's remain seated while members of that table leaves the hall. Please allow them to leave the hall first. Sorry, we have a group photograph that we want to take. So we can leave. We can leave while they take their group photograph.